this freaking video is about. Whew! I am like so off my game right now. Okay, everybody. This is the story of how my life got turned into a reality TV show. I think I like that. Okay. Hey everybody, happy Tunji Tuesday. I am literally so excited to be sitting in front of the camera again because I've been doing so many vlogs, there were so many vacations, so many things happening, and like this is really like my happy place. Like I love to be doing these sit down videos for you guys, and I know you guys like them a lot too from what you've told me in my comments. And I have had this story ready to go forever, and it's like it's such a big part of my life, and it's something that I've been wanting to share for so long. If you like this style of video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up so I know that you like it, so I can make more like this. And if you're not subscribed already, I put out new videos every single Tuesday, so go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything good. There's all kinds of things going on all the time, and I have a ton of new content coming out for you guys, more sit down videos coming, so I'm really excited. So let's get after it. This is like all true, legitimately just like a very weird time in my life, but it was so normal to me and just like the way I grew up that it didn't seem weird, and like anybody I grew up with also didn't find it weird, so it's like gonna be strange to share the story with the rest of the world, even though some of you guys might already know my story. I grew up in like a little bit of a different situation. So like my brother, I have two brothers, but my middle brother, when I was in about 8th grade, started getting like really into video games. This was like a different time, not like I'm like ancient, but this is like, you know, 2008-ish time, right? So like things were different than they are now as far as like video games go, as far as like streaming go. I'm not gonna talk about what I don't know, but here's what we do know. So around that time in my life, my brother started getting really into gaming, and he was going to video game events. At the time, we were exclusively going to MLG events, which stands for Major League Gaming. This was like a booming time for MLG. It was like, it was popping off, and at the time, the game that was being played was Halo 3, in my household, at least. That was like the popular one, that was like the big one, and that's what Anthony was playing. So he was playing this game, and I didn't think too much of it. It didn't infringe on my life at all at this time. Like in the beginning, I was just kind of like living my life, and then as he was going to more and more events, there was one in 2008 in Orlando, Florida. So we decided to make it a family trip, and me and my friend Alexis went, and my mom, my dad, my brothers, we all went together, but like me and my mom and my friend kind of just like did the Disney parks. We didn't really like go to the event. But I remember on Sunday of the event, so the events were usually weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Sunday was Championship Sunday, so that's when like the big stuff happened. So I remember we went in on Sunday, and it was just this like huge event with like tons and tons and tons of teenage boys like everywhere, and everybody was playing video games and doing like their little call outs. It was like so intense, and the energy was so crazy, and I remember just thinking like, this is nuts, like all for a video game. And I was 13 years old, so I like couldn't really process any of what was going on. But in the coming year, 2009, things started getting a little more serious. We were traveling a little bit more, and we always traveled as a family. So in like 2009, I remember it was my first time. I got to travel so many places for the first time through going to these events for MLG. So like I remember in 2009, we got to go to our event in Meadowlands. So it was my first time in New York, and a few other events that year. That was my freshman year of high school, which is like so crazy. And I was literally like every month leaving early on a Friday, and they'd be like, gee, where are you going? And I'm like, oh, I gotta go to Texas. Oh, I gotta go to Raleigh. Oh, I gotta go to Columbus. I was just traveling so much, and it was such a cool experience because I started to really like form a family bond with these people and all these gamers. And for those of you who don't know me or my family or my brother, his gamer tag is Baby Tots. After he turned 16, he dropped the baby, so it was just Tots, T-O-T-Z. I don't want to like talk out of like, I still don't know like so much about gaming, but I know he was like a big deal at the time, right? yeah, I like loved it because I was traveling, I was living my best life, I was hanging out with all these people that I like loved so much all the time. And then the LANs started happening. So for those of you who don't know what a LAN is, it's LAN, local area networking. It's when basically a bunch of gamers come to one spot to practice together, to like scrimmage against each other and to like sharpen up their skills. So there was really no like central place for gamers to go to be doing scrimmages like that. So my family decided that it would be a really great idea if we would start having like really big LANs at our family home. Any given weekend of the year, there would be like 40 dudes at my house. And I was like a little 14-year-old, and they were all like big brothers to me. Like, it was so cool because I had like all these people around all the time. I was literally never like lonely or bored, and there was always something to do in the house. There was always something going on. But it was just like having a really giant family, except for like all of us shared one bathroom upstairs, which was the worst because like I would be getting ready for school, for like high school, and everybody would still be awake from the night before because they like gamed all through the night, and everybody would still be up, and I would be like getting a freezing cold shower. And so it was just like having a bunch of annoying brothers. It really shaped my life. It was so much fun because there would be these people over constantly gaming, and then we would all travel together. I remember just like having like selfies of me on like airplanes with like the whole plane being full of like all of us going to wherever we had to go for that event. It was such a fun time in my life, and like gaming is like very near and dear. MLG like years were some of the best years of my life. My freshman year of high school, I started school 2 weeks before an event. And the event was in Anaheim, California. I had never been to California before. I had never been to Disneyland. So I was like so excited, but I was always around so many boys. I like wanted a girlfriend to hang out with. So in my biology class freshman year, the first day I got paired up with this girl, and like 3 days into biology, I like knew I really liked her. So I was like, hey, do you want to go to California with me next weekend? And she was like, let me ask my dad. And so she calls me that night. She's like, yeah, my dad said it's cool. So from then on, this girl is my friend Steffi, and she came to like every event with me. So it was like me and her were like the little sisters of like the gaming universe. And it was so cool. And like once Anthony was getting like bigger and bigger, people were asking like me for autographs. That only happened a few times, but I thought it was like the coolest thing ever because I was, you know, I was like part of like the gaming family. And everybody knew about like my house because of these like huge LANs that we would have. Again, things are like a little blurry for me because I was so young, and I wasn't really told like things that were going on because it wasn't really like my business. But that's when we started doing streaming. So like we would stream what was happening in the basement. So the basement is where they did the LANs, where they played their games, where they were doing everything. So we would literally have cameras set up so anybody on the internet could like come in, pay a fee, and then like watch what was happening, which was like revolutionary for its time because other people weren't like doing anything like that. And there was like a forum where people could like comment and stuff, and people would be like, you know, saying all this stuff. Their lives essentially were on display. My life really wasn't because I only went down there like every once in a while to hang out. It wasn't like a big deal. So after like a few years of this at the house, it got to be like really overwhelming because my mom was like literally cooking for 40 kids at once. She had to make like 80 chicken breasts, and she had like crazy stuff because you don't think about what so many kids go through. And you know, it takes a toll on the house, it takes a toll on like everybody there because like you got teenage boys up at all hours of the night, which we loved and it was so fun, but it's like, you know, you gotta live a little bit too. So the project that we had going was outgrowing the house. My parents decided to get what we called the gaming house. And the gaming house was a house 2 towns over that could host all of these LAN parties. So technically like nobody lived there, but kind of like everybody was living there, and it was like the place to be. So that's when we really started going hard. My dad founded a website called the LAN Network, where people could literally log on and subscribe, and then they could watch what was happening in the house. So there would be LANs there, and people were just there all the time gaming, and it was something that had never been done before. So everybody was like really, really into it, and it was so cool because like that got everybody out of my house, but it was still like close enough to where I could like go and experience it, and we were still going to all the events and having so much fun, but it was just like more of a separate thing. And the house was like decked out, like all gaming. It was just like a gamer's paradise. It was really, really cool. So this is when people started to take like interest in what was happening in our lives. And again, I don't know all the schematics of it because I was a kid. I was 15 years old at the time. It wasn't something that I was interested in. I just wanted to have fun, and like I was living my best life, and like everybody treated me like a little sister, and they were so nice to me. I'm still like so close with a lot of these people now, which is so cool. We were approached by a production company called Pink Sneakers. They are the production company who did Hulk Hogan's reality show for MTV. They basically approached us with a project being like, you know, this is like wild, we wanna film what this is like. So for a while there, we had like cameramen, like reality show setup, you know, cameramen following us around. We had like lighting all in the house, at our house and at the gaming house. And like, I don't know, I was 15 years old and they were filming in my house for a reality TV show. It was the coolest thing ever. It was so cool. It's still cool. So they would film like the gaming, and they would film about all of us, and we all had like interviews. They would ask us all these questions about like, do you have like stories about the gamers? How has your life changed since this has all happened? And I remember being 15 and I was like driving over to the somebody was driving me over to the gaming house, and I remember being like, okay, like your interview's at this time, and I like walked into like their studio, and I like sat down, and I was like all nervous, and he was like with his clipboard, it was like two guys, and they were like, okay, just like, you know, talk, and you know, we'll edit it later, don't worry about like if you mess up, just like keep going. I was so nervous, and I was done up like a little prima donna, and it was just like such a cool experience in my life. So these guys hung around and like filmed us for a while. I don't really know like the ins and outs of what actually happened, but I guess like gaming started going downhill, or Halo 3 did at least. Halo Reach had just come out. So it was like not on the decline for everybody, but definitely on the decline for my brother. He didn't like Reach as much as he liked Halo 3. So it was kind of changing things, and I think that at the pace that they wanted to keep up for the show, like we weren't hitting that anymore, or like they didn't see potential for like growth in the community, which is like wild because look at where gaming's at now. The show was never picked up by MTV. So we have like all this footage, this whole reality TV show, and the show was never picked up, which, you know, absolutely happens. It's totally a thing. The odds that it would get picked up or something done. I'm sure if the same show was filmed now, it would have gotten picked up because of just how like crazy gaming is. I actually have the only edited cut version of the show that was going to be called The Gaming House. And it's never before seen footage. Like literally nobody has seen this before, which is so cool because I am going to share it with you guys today. And it's like, it's so like nostalgic for me to watch, but like this was my life growing up, and it's like so cool to see like what it could have been and what it was. I don't know, every like 12-year-old that I talk to, that I like babysit, that I nanny, they're like, oh my God, your brother was a gamer. Do you guys know Ninja? We do. He's in this video actually, so like keep your eyes out. He's like obviously a lot younger, but it's just like so cool to see like where everybody's gone in the gaming community. It's sad that the reality show has never gotten picked up, but I always think like, how different would my life have been if at 15 I was on a reality show on MTV or whatever network? Like, my life would be so different. So I don't know if I'm like happy or sad that it didn't happen, but here you guys go. The first exclusive look at the Gaming House trailer. This is like gonna be like crazy. This is so crazy. And like my interview is so funny because I was just like a little girl. And here we go, let's roll it. I got a name,
Mr. Pinocchio and his family. They're great people.
His son started becoming a professional gamer and he got really into it.
We had been running tournaments in my basement for a year and a half. My daughter, she had to endure all these guys at the house, and so we decided to rent a house and we transformed it into the gaming house.
I loved the gaming house. It was heaven sent, honestly.
It's a gamer's paradise, basically. We have the best setup. 16 Xboxes, 16 TVs in the basement.
If you want to tweet about it now.
Tweet! Tournament Sunday, tweets going out. Tournament Sunday, baby. My parents, I guess, it was rough at the start.
I started playing Halo a lot.
Wouldn't let me play.
Staying up till like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning.
My Halo disc taken from me multiple times.
But once they saw that, hey, you can actually make some money doing this.
Bringing home a couple $1,000s over a course of a weekend, you know, they were all for it.
Told me that, hey, come on, what are you doing? Start practicing with your team. Get on. Why aren't you gaming?
You guys ready?
Right now I'm losing money every month, and I've been since the inception, but hopefully one day we can get this thing where it turns the corner.
One shot, do it. God damn it, I'm the fucking best in the game. I'm the best triple A in the game. It's fucking amazing.
Thank you everybody so much for watching this storytime video. I really hope you liked it. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. I am now in my new apartment. As you can see, I'm literally so confused about where I should be filming. So this is like a temporary spot, I think. This might be the best spot in the room. So we'll see how that goes, but this might be new background. We'll see what's going on with that. I'll see how I like how this one looks. But I appreciate your guys' support and your kind comments literally so much. You guys are the best. Thank you all to my subscribers. Thank you for helping me hit 2,000 subscribers. That is like so monumental to me, especially because I just hit 1,000 in the summer. So like my channel has grown so much and I just really appreciate you guys. And happy Teeny Tuesday, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.